Hello, my name is Cameron too, and I'm going to be presenting the ERP Sim Group Review for Group Lima today. Going into the simulator, Group Lima's mission statement was to establish an elite cereal company who can provide niche brand cereals in markets where there's an absence of competition. So our overall strategy going into the practice quarter was we wanted to get a good feel for the simulator. We wanted to play around with it and kind of test and see if we can make mistakes and learn from those. Initially we attempted supplementing products which were selling low in certain areas with higher marketing expenses, thinking that that would prompt sales. So we tried to maintain a simple yet effective strategy. Our results, we started to see that the marketing expenses, we learned that they were quickly eating off the bottom line of our profit, and we were unable to really enter into new territory as effectively as we would have liked to. We didn't experiment enough with different product lines, and we stuck too firmly to the 1 kilogram raisin and mixed nut. So in review, we realized that going into quarter one, we really needed to keep a tighter grip on demand. This would allow us to fluctuate between markets which were selling very high. So we needed to experiment more with the bill of materials in order to enter into these markets with little competition. Much like Group C, which messed with the bill of materials so that they were able to enter into the 500-gram cereal boxes, which would be able to sell to grocery stores and other markets. And overall, we realized that we definitely needed to lower our marketing expenses. So opening into quarter one, we attempted to focus on untapped markets, like I discussed, and focus on these products with little competition based upon the practice quarter data. We figured that a lot of our competition would stick to what they thought was familiar, meaning that the products they focused very heavily on in the practice run would likewise they would focus on in quarter one. So we tried to base our prices on market pricing. As you can see from the summary of our data, Group L actually received a 3-day late start into the market. This might have been because of a lack of really paying attention to the sim, so that we didn't get there day one with our competition. So due to this, we were unable to price effectively. We were always one step behind the market. And our result was infrequent sales volumes. As you can see, even when we did get our late start, we sold about 1/3 of what our maximum potential should have been. So we entered into markets also with too much competition. As you'll see on this next slide, entering into our raisin market, we had about 6 other competitors, as well as our blueberry market. Although we only had one other main competitor, we were pricing so ineffectively that we weren't able to take advantage of that. So in review, quarter one for Group L was overall a very good learning experience. We needed to keep a better finger on market prices, and we needed to check the sim more frequently as a team. We should have analyzed trends of the different products to see how many competitors existed, and stuck to our strategy of really trying to get in markets where there's little competition.
Hi, I'm Wagner. I'm covering quarter two today. First of all, I'd like to start off talking about our marketing tactics for quarter two. Primary focus starting out was focus on setting premium prices for goods based off the price of the market. Our plan was to help us out by having our competition stock out by having lower prices than us, allowing us to build our stock over time so we can maximize our profits later on in the quarter. Found out that wasn't the best strategy. Actually, a customer is more price sensitive than we gave it credit to. They are more likely to just go with the cheaper cereal than just to stick with buying our one blueberry or say raisin at the high price. They would rather just go find strawberry at a lower price and buy that instead of buying any blueberry at all. So that kind of backfired on us as far as our sales in quarter two. Next thing we took real serious was our marketing. We decided that we want to continue with a conservatively low marketing prices. Focus on distributing the marketing evenly through all distribution channels that we were in quarter two. Here I'd like to show you a graph of our marketing by quarter. As you can see, quarter one we were real conservative with very minimal marketing. Moving into quarter two, we decided it would be safe to bump it up a little bit, and we found a pretty good medium right there in quarter two, where we decided to stick with it throughout the rest of the SAP project. Next is let's talk about our production. we wanted our first production in quarter two to be 200,000 blueberry. We figured that this would be the best cereal to give us the best opportunity for most profit. And then in reflection, we decided to secondly go with raisin, and decided that raisin would be our best bet. So we stuck with that with our second order of raisin to minimize the setup times. We would be having to cost us to produce a different cereal at the time. Now I'm going to hand over to Travis to cover quarter three.
Alright, quarter three, we took a look at quarter two, realized how it went, and then we came up with the overall strategy. We wanted to find a new market. We weren't doing very good with the markets we were in, and with the strategy of marketing prices and everything, just the sales weren't as high as we wanted them to be. So due to the lack of sales in the previous quarters, left us with stock that was not favorable in certain markets. So that's why we decided to start making, we analyzed some of the data and realized that Team C was doing excellent with the 500 gram boxes of cereal. So we decided to start production of that. In quarter three, you can see here on this graph, that was our main thing. Production in quarter three was the biggest part. We made, I think, over 200,000 boxes start off to kick us off, along with a few others. But it was our main goal, was the 500 kilogram box. Sales by the quarters for all teams. This gives you a raw, kind of like an idea how everybody else was doing on the sales. Team L, for us, 1 kilogram box wasn't working out, like I said earlier, so we entered 500 kilogram, and production or sales started to increase. Quarter three was one of our better. From quarter one to 33 was definitely the best out of all of them. I feel the strategy used to price high and wait for the demand of the lower stock for it to stock out on everyone. I feel that backfired on us. So with that, I'm going to talk a little bit about key products. At launch, we looked at the raisin and mixed nut muesli, and then we stepped into the 500 gram blueberry boxes to try to catch the market with the smaller building or grocery stores, convenience stores, catch students, you know, looking at the higher price item. Looking at the pricing products to make sure that we were competitive, so we were checking marketing and the prices, different prices other teams were playing to try to, you know, manipulate that to get through to it. Making adjustments to the problems. Again, we had problems with keeping production in demand. We had scheduling problems, so therefore we were left with too much stock and not much to go with in sales of everything. Go next. Members' role for success in the team. I feel like we all need to, you know, communication is huge. I learned that. Be more vocal and everything, and just keep on top of the demand of supply, because without the demand there, you have nothing to sell. You can't make sales or profits.
Alright, I'm Logan, and I'm going to be discussing our quarter four results and sales. Going into quarter four, we kind of want to expand on all the strategies that we had going into quarter four. So with that being said, we kind of want to continually compete in our Pacific markets, or gradually moving toward more of a 500 gram cereal market base. From that being said, we've seen the biggest profit margins in these specific 500 gram markets, mainly due to most teams not really sticking more to the kilogram markets, as opposed to people being latency on moving over to the 500 gram markets. And also we wanted to have a competitive advantage in our market prices. With that being said, we had to keep a more intense eye or more consistent with our market prices, and be able to gauge where we want to keep our prices in comparison to the other teams, so that we see the highest gross profit margins without selling out most of our stock. And through this quarter, we executed some strategies that we wanted to do. First, we implemented a more stricter regimen due to kind of just a lack of commitment or being consistent of watching the market trends and patterns, and being able to get constant production throughout the whole ERP sim. So we definitely wanted to perform better on that. Also, we raised our 500 kilogram zero prices substantially higher in the market as a whole from what we've seen from other teams, that they were able to sell at a higher price while seeing the best gross profit margins and not outselling their stock. So we raised our prices substantially while still having a competitive advantage over other teams in our Pacific 500 gram market. And also production and purchase orders, we wanted to be on top of more. So we placed more purchase orders of 200,000 for our 500 gram markets and our 1 kilogram cereal. And this is what we've seen in our sales results. As you can see, we were just a little bit inconsistent in what we were selling, mainly due to inconsistent cost of production. And we feel if we implement a stricter regimen of watching our sales trends in the market, that we will be able to see a higher increase of sales results, specifically in the 500 gram markets. Through running these ERP sims, we definitely had some learning experiences that we feel that we could expand on going into the future. Like I said before, from our sales results, we were a little inconsistent, and to avoid these future downfalls, we want to implement a strategy to plan more production schedules and keep our purchase orders at a more consistent level that aligns with our market strategy. And plans for the future of continuing to expand our cereal company into the elite company that it could potentially grow into. Once again, we want to continually move to the 500 gram markets where we've seen the highest profit margins in. And also we want to verify that purchase requisitions and production schedules are planned for prior to actually like running out of stock or when we need it, is to actually have a planned strategy of our markets and where we want to take our cereal company. So more planning in that aspect, I feel, will be a great benefit to our company. And just be more consistent, high on our prices, being that we kind of had a competitive advantage, or had a strategy of being more competitive advantage on our prices. So we needed to watch other groups in the market so we could undercut them just a bit while not sacrificing any of our gross profit margins. And marketing was another thing. We wanted to keep marketing substantially low. We definitely learned our lesson in our practice ERP, but there we kind of planned to evaluate individual markets that we were going into and see if more marketing calls for greater profit or less market to save some numbers off our bottom line. That wraps up our ERP sim for our project.